equity, inclusion and belonging, and LGBTQ sensitization. Let me quickly introduce myself. I'm Afreen Gohar. I'm representing the Student Placement Council and I will be moderating today's session. So I was thinking about how should I begin describing the session. With data, since we are data science students, we are all about numbers, right? So let's start with some interesting stats. 2021 McKinsey report revealed that companies with greater gender diversities are 25% more likely to outperform financially. There's another report by Deloitte of 2020 survey which found that 80% of people consider a company's inclusion effort when deciding to work, where to work basically. So these aren't just numbers, they tell a story about how embracing diversity is not only the right thing to do, but also a smart business strategy. We understand that some students have concerns or they have a different point of view about this topic. However, having an inclusive environment is not just endorsing any particular lifestyle or belief. It is about ensuring that all, okay ma'am, yes ma'am, your screen is shared. Okay, so having an inclusive environment is not about just that. It is not that we are just endorsing some lifestyle or a particular belief. It is about ensuring that all individuals, regardless of their background, are treated with respect and have equal opportunities to succeed. We at IIT Madras are preparing our students not only for academic success, but also for professional excellence. In today's corporate world, let me tell you, understanding and navigating diversity is a crucial skill. This session is a part of our broader effort to ensure that our graduates are well-rounded, culturally competent, and ready to lead their chosen fields. And who could do it better than the guest that we have today, Varsha Agarwal ma'am. Varsha ma'am, it is really a privilege to have you here today with us. Ma'am is a leader with over 20 plus years of experience in DEI, CSR, and pro bono work. She has played a significant role in promoting inclusive leadership and has worked with the giants like VMware and Disney. In fact, she is the director at VMware. She will share her insights and the importance of the topic that we have decided today. But before we begin our session, I would want all of you to keep certain things in mind. Please keep your microphones muted during the presentation to avoid any background noises. Feel free to post your questions in the G form that will be circulated. Abhijit or Pushpanjali, please post the link to the G form. And we'll have this question answer session at the end, and Varsha ma'am will be addressing all this question. In fact, ma'am is planning a game kind of a quiz for you all, and there is a little surprise for you all as well, and ma'am will be elaborating on that. So now without any further delay, let's welcome Varsha ma'am. Ma'am, the virtual floor is all yours. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much, Afreen. Thank you. And there cannot be a better introduction of the session than what you have provided. So great job done there.
Thank you, ma'am.
Superbly done. Superbly done. With the numbers for the data science students, yeah, matters a lot. So yeah, I have multiple quizzes, and I would want that in between when we are running the quizzes, and people can unmute and talk, or they can put the or they can post their responses on the chat. So while you were sharing some numbers, let's throw another number actually, okay, which is 10 trillion. When I say 10 trillion, what does come in people's mind? If I say 10 trillion, what comes to your mind? 10 trillion USD. If I say that, what comes to your mind? You can put in here if you're able to type, or you can just unmute and talk, or put your responses on chat. Anything, whatever you're comfortable with. What is somebody doing? POV, what is this? Oh.
Point of view.
Point of view. Okay. Point of view. Trend 10 trillion US dollars. GDP. Okay. GDP. Yes. It is, yeah, GDP of certain countries. What else it can be? Any other guesses? How much is how much is India's GDP? If we will make it interactive, I think that will be really helpful so that it doesn't feel like I'm talking to myself. Let's put your responses on chat or unmute and talk. That will be really helpful. How much is India GDP?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Ron. Can you unmute yourself?
Around 3 trillion.
Sorry?
Ma'am, 3 trillion.
3 trillion. Yeah. So it's around 3.6. Yeah, a little less than 4, but yeah, it's around, yes. Okay, so what is the 10 trillion? GDP, yeah, but it's not India's, I think, GDP. 10 trillion USD is actually the spending power of LGBTQIA plus community. I'm sure you all are students of IT Madras. You very well understand what is spending power. Okay, spending power is something if you include the LGBTQIA plus community all over the world and not including their friends and families. Their spending power is 10 trillion. So Afreen has added some facts that if we have the gender diversity, if we have DI folks actually in the organizations, it is increasing the productivity, creativity, and there are multiple reasons behind it. Why does it increase the productivity and creativity? Assume that all of us has if all of us are born and brought up into a small village, okay, we have spent all our 25 years in that particular village only or in that particular town. We went to same school, we went to, then we must have faced the same problems, we must have faced same challenges. We will start thinking alike because the solution of those problems will also be the same. So why do we need different kind of people? People from different backgrounds, people from different states, people who are gender diverse, people with disabilities, people LGBTQIA plus community, veterans, and so on and so forth. They bring a very different, diverse mindset. That's how the creativity and productivity of the organization increases, and hence the top line and bottom line increases. Right? So that is just to get started with a particular number which I wanted to throw. And can anyone think before I start a session? I also want to understand. Let's also do. So all of you are data science students. I mean, you are very well creative thinkers. Let me just ask. Suppose if you are I think I asked that question in IT Madras already, so probably some of you might have the answer, right? Suppose if you are blindfolded and you are in a family of 4 to 5 people, how will you identify your toothbrush in the morning? You can't see. You can't see at all. How will you identify your toothbrush in the morning? What will you do? Please unmute and talk so that I don't feel like I'm talking to myself. We are around 57 people.
Anybody who wants to answer could raise their hands. We'll unmute you and you can then speak.
I think Ronak.
Ronak, yes.
Asking to my mom.
Acha, asking to your mother. Okay.
That was a nice response, actually.
Yeah, good. Including mother is good. What else? Anybody else? Anyone else? You can put your response on chat also.
Chat also, yes.
Okay, looks like people are still thinking.
Sir,
Okay, so
ma'am, I
what I
want to
will
guess
do is,
one answer.
yeah, so what, I'm sorry?
I want to guess one answer, ma'am.
Yeah, go ahead.
I will if I am blindfolded, then I will rely on my other senses, I guess, and just trace out the path I have in
But
mind
still, it
that I
would be
am.
difficult if a lot of people have their brushes kept at the same place. That would be difficult then.
Yeah,
Even senses,
so as a family, we keep that in the
yeah,
same box, right?
same place. So it
Yes.
will be difficult. Even senses won't work there.
Yeah. So I will leave you with this particular thought. You think about it. Try and think about the solution. I'll tell the answer in the end. Okay, when we are closing the session. So let's now move on. Okay, and it is a creative thinking problem. I'll tell you that. So think creatively. Think out of the box. Okay. So now let's understand. What do you think DEIB stands for? What is DEIB? What is the full form? While I share my screen, can you just put your responses on chat? What does it stand for? See, this is a highly interactive, I think, session. If you do not talk, then वो मजा नहीं आएगा फिर, ठीक है?
And I
Boring.
have already I have given the abbreviation of that in the beginning. So let's see who has a good memory.
Yeah. So in the screen, right, you can actually see four options. Chalo, I have made your job easy. Okay. So out of these four options which are there on the screen, which is the right option? What is happening? You guys are able to.
Ma'am, you're on mute.
Yeah, my Zoom got crashed, so I'm rejoining. So I shared four responses on the and you have four options, so you can actually choose now. Your job is easy.
Ma'am, your screen is not present.
Yeah. The screen is coming up. I think because I got my Zoom crashed, so I'm just rejoining. Yeah. Can you see my screen now?
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
it's coming up.
So
Yes,
you
ma'am.
have four. Yeah. So you have four options. Now, at least tell me quickly, what is the right answer here? If you are raising your hand, you can also put your responses on chat. Just say 1, 2, or 3, or 4. That's easy.
2 is the answer.
2 is the answer?
Chat.
Good, great. Yeah. So it is diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging. Now, what is equality? Very quickly, please put either 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. What is equality? See, when I do these sessions, right, sometimes some people offer goodies, and then I see just a flurry of responses coming. But I think you are IIT Madras students, right? You don't need goodies to answer questions. So what's the right answer here? First or second or third or fourth? I think people are raising hand, but probably it is difficult to unmute everybody. Third, I think somebody is pinging third. Okay, anyone else? I think Afri, a lot of people are raising hands.
Yes, Abhijit, if you could select and unmute each
Yeah,
one
yeah.
of them one by one. Yeah.
I
Is
think
it
yes. It's
I
Is
think
it
it's the
possible
second
to give them?
option.
Okay, second. Okay, a lot of people are saying 2. Now the chat is buzzing. Okay, I love it. Keep it going. Now, a lot of people are saying second, treating everyone equally irrespective of their age, skills, gender, and so on. Okay. Anyone else? First. Okay, Rakesh Chaudhary has said first. Santosh Ravi is saying chat is disabled. Chat was disabled, now enabled. Okay. So some people are saying first. Anshuman Pandey and somebody else, SLE said, Rakesh Chaudhary said first. That's the right answer. First is the right answer. Offering the same rights and opportunity to all the people. But we will see in coming slides why only having equality is not enough. Okay. Last one for you. Now chat is buzzing. Okay. So keep it going. Who needs to make organization inclusive? Whose responsibility it is? You can again say 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5. All of the above. 4, 5, 4, 4, 5, 5. It's everyone. Okay. Just all of the above is also not good enough. Only HR, only leaders, only executives, only managers cannot make it happen. Okay. It's everyone who needs to do it, even including you. Students also needs to be involved 100% in order to make it happen. So I think Ronak said 5, Sharat said 5, a lot of people said 5. So great. Huge round of applause. Let's move on. Now, in order to understand it in a very simple terms, the way I explain it actually, what is DEIB is, diversity is being invited to the party. Inclusion is, and the reason I am explaining it this way so that you will never forget. Okay, whomsoever I explain in this way, right? They never forget this. Okay? And inclusion is being asked to dance. Equity is making sure that everybody can dance. And belonging is everyone enjoys dancing, feeling safe with no fear of embarrassment or rejection. Otherwise, there are a lot of definitions which are there. There are a lot of definitions which are there for diversity, equity, and inclusion. Okay, many definitions. Anybody can explain one DEI definition? Anybody wants to explain what is DEIB definition? There are a lot of keywords. There are a lot of definitions, lot of context which is added to it. But we want to explain in a very simple language. And the simplest language which we found is this. Okay. Your workplace or your institution is diverse when, if there is a party happening, if there is a class happening, everybody is invited, right? What is inclusion? Now, if I give you a scenario, suppose you are in a class, okay? What will be inclusion in your class? What will be inclusion in your class? Anyone? Again, chat. If you're not able to unmute, chat. Working with trust. Nobody feels like an outcast. Okay, yes. More? Inviting everyone for a discussion. Yes. So Rishi has touched. Inviting everybody for a discussion. Suppose if you have a person with speech and hearing, no FOMO. Yeah. Suppose if you have a person with speech and hearing impairment in the class, who can't hear, can't speak. Are they also being invited to participate in the discussion? There are different ways they can contribute. You can ask them to put their response on chat, which people can read, which somebody can read out also. Rather than thinking that, oh, okay, this person though cannot speak, why should we ask him to participate in the discussion? Right? That's the thing. And equity is making sure that everybody can dance. So now how we relate it to that? Suppose, again, same example. If you have a person with speech and hearing impairment in your class, you ask them to talk. But how will they talk? Do you have a whiteboard where they can write? Do you have a virtual setting where they can type their answers, which somebody can read out or people can see it? So if you have such small things, sometimes in some meetings and all which actually happen, right? At times you might be having your placement meetings and some other meetings and all. And if you have a student, do you provide a whiteboard for them or a simple plain paper sheet where they can write their responses? Do you invite a sign language interpreter sometimes so that they can also understand from sign language? Somebody can translate it for them and they can understand what somebody is talking to. So that is equity. Now, belonging is that everybody enjoys. I am being in the class, I am enjoying. I'm not feeling like somebody said that it should not be, I should not feel outcast, right? I should not feel that, no, I don't belong here, right? I am in the class, I am in the party, and I'm enjoying thoroughly, right? There's no embarrassment, there's no fear and all that. Clear? So that's now earlier we understood what is talking about what is equity, equality, right? We saw what is equality, and I said we will talk about why having only equality is not enough, right? I hope this picture says it very clearly. Why equality just having equality is not enough. Can you all understand from the picture very, very clearly why only having equality is not enough? So here we have equality here, right? We have provided same rights. We have provided same opportunity to all the three people. But are they still able to, are they able to contribute? Are they able to contribute in a meaningful way? Again, chat, please keep the chat going. Yes, no. Okay, somebody says yes and somebody says no. No, right? They are not able to make use of the opportunity. Even the privileged get the same opportunity. So with better facilities, they go ahead. Equity, watching a match without ticket is no good. Yeah. So see, this is equality. Same right, same opportunity to everybody. But what is important here is to make sure that we are providing equity. What is the difference between equality and equity is providing the facilities, the opportunities, and making sure that the person can utilize those. Okay. Now it's called equitable opportunities. Equitable opportunities, where everybody can enjoy the same scene, everyone can enjoy the class, everyone can participate in the party, everybody can watch the match. I hope you will always now remember this picture in your mind, and you will always watch out and you will always fight for equity and not only equality. Understood? Clear? Yes. I think Ronak is one person who is very active apart from everybody else. I'm sure all of us understood, right? Dinesh, Ayush, everybody saying clear. So let's move on. I know we have very limited time, so that's why I am little hurrying up. So now let's see this. So DEI functions. Okay. What are the various DEI ecosystem functions? So previously we saw that DEI can be made possible not just by managers, not just by a couple of people and all. It's the entire ecosystem which needs to make it happen. So what are the various ecosystems? People, place, products, policies, legalities, branding, processes, various operations, finance, sales, marketing, blah, blah, blah. Can anyone think about any examples, right? In your IIT Madras as an institution, why all these things are important in order to make the ecosystem equitable? Put your responses on chat. If you are not able to unmute, you can unmute and answer also. Vijit is saying thank you. Thank you, sir. But yeah, so either unmute or you can put your responses on chat. Why do you think all these are important? Any example? Or you can pick any one. So for example, we are as of now doing sensitization for the people. Why having a place which is equitable is important? Fairness to all. Okay. Okay, what else? Any other? Everyone get opportunity. Okay. But I am looking for example. Why do you think place and products and policies, branding, everything is important? Okay, good that our people are sensitized, our people are all vouching for diversity, equity, inclusion and everything. But why place is important? Why products is important? Why policies is important? A good ecosystem creates a good environment between them. Okay, let me give a couple of examples in the interest of time, right? Example, now today we are getting sensitized and we are very well bought into it, and we referred actually a person with disability, or we referred a LGBTQIA person who actually got also as a student. Now, say a person with disability is very, very excited. They come to the campus. Okay, next day. there is no ramp. Okay. And there are no accessible classrooms, right? If we don't have sensory doors, can they enjoy the campus? In IIT Madras, I know a lot of things are there because I have visited that. So a lot of things are there, but I am commonly talking about, I'm not taking example of IIT Madras. Can they enjoy the campus? Can they enjoy those 3-4 years? Because for everything, they have to depend on somebody, they have to struggle, correct, with something. Now products. Suppose, okay, the place is accessible, right? But you have placement forms, you have multiple other forms, you will have your classes, you will have case studies, you will have examinations, submissions, right? All of these things, right? Now, but the form is not accessible. A person with a vision impairment cannot see the form, they can't fill it. Will they enjoy? They will not enjoy. So that's why these are some examples. I'm not going to go into each and everything, but these are some examples which actually help us understand that it is important to make sure that entire ecosystem has to be the entire ecosystem has to be compliant. Now, that doesn't mean that on day one only I will do everything, otherwise I will not do anything. That's not the purpose here. The purpose of saying of this is here is that there are multiple stages of DEIB, the very initial stage to the end and all. The purpose is to make sure that we should have intent in order to make sure that the entire ecosystem is diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging compliant. And slowly and steadily we make it happen. Okay. Somebody is asking what is the topic. Okay, I didn't get the question. The topic of the session, topic of the session is diversity, equity, inclusion, and pride focus community. If that's the question, Keshav. Okay. Any other questions, or I'll move forward? Need to checking the time. We are already 8 o'clock. So let me move on. Okay. Navya saying go ahead. Okay. Thank you, Navya. So DI ecosystem personas. We spoke about that in briefly. So now I think we already have mentioned that just having managers or just having placement officers or just having the dean or sub-dean or principals or teachers, etc., is not going to make the ecosystem compliant or the DI ecosystem make it happen. Everyone has to participate. Students have a huge role to play. Alumni have a huge role to play. Your placement office have a huge role to play. Your support staff, ground staff has a huge role to play. Like our placement cell members. Yeah, like our placement cell members, everyone has to. Think about a scenario why everybody needs to be included. Can anyone think of an example why each and every person has to be included? Any examples we can think of? Any simple example? Any simple example? Repeat, ma'am. Okay, the question is, can you think of a very small example why everyone in the institution is responsible for the DEIB ecosystem? And why not only dean or placement officers or students? Why security staff, emergency staff, to get maximum out of available resources? Okay. What else? Okay, let me answer. Car with 3 wheels, let's see, car with 3 wheels maintained and one worn out can't run longer. Okay. Ronak says hum. Okay, if we don't include someone, we can't come to know the extraordinary skills. Okay, similar as 5 fingers out of hand can get any work done. Okay, we need not enhance the environment. Okay, good answers. Let me provide one example apart from your answers, which are definitely really good. Is suppose your placement officer sensitized, your dean is sensitized, all students are sensitized and all, but security staff is not. Assume that there is an emergency situation and everybody needs to be evacuated. Okay, there's a fire and everybody needs to be evacuated. Now, the security staff or the ground staff does not know anything at all. You have a person with wheelchair in your class. What will they do? Your security staff does not know how to evacuate them. Some of us who can walk, okay, we'll run. But how about that person? What he'll do? What he, she, or they will do? They'll get stuck there. There is one situation which has happened. There was a person with the wheelchair. The person with the wheelchair, they were in a class or they were in some room or something, and a fire drill was happening. So the security staff comes running to that person. Hey, sir. So this person thought that, oh, okay, he is coming to evacuate me. But this person, no, sir, you keep sitting here. This is a drill only, and you can be here. Okay, you don't have to do anything. So this person is thinking, okay, if there is an actual fire, do I need to keep sitting here only and get burnt? Because they don't know what to do, right? So that is why this is just one example, but there are many examples actually, is why the entire ecosystem needs to be sensitized. Okay, let's come to LGBTQIA plus few things, because this is focused on that. We are 30 minutes over, so let's come to that. Okay, there are, again, the topic is vast, but I obviously cannot go to each and everything. So let's actually focus on some very important things. Okay, there are 3 commonly referred gender identity terms which we use actually here. I have actually shared already, but can anyone explain what is the difference between a transgender and a cisgender? Anybody has any understanding? There are 3 terms which we commonly refer, which you must have seen on the screen also: cisgender, transgender, and non-binary. Anybody knows the difference? Anyone? Mental picture, feelings. Mental picture. Okay. Transgender don't feel well with the gender they were assigned at birth. Transgender have both genital. No, ma'am. Okay, sure. So one of the things actually which is important is to understand a little bit about this community, right? So that we are sensitized and we are not hurting anybody. Okay. So cisgender is actually a gender identity that aligns with the sex they were assigned at birth. That is cisgender. Means there is, in simple terms, means there is no confusion. Okay. Transgender is actually the people who gender identity is different from the sex they were assigned at birth. That is transgender. Okay. Then comes non-binary. Non-binary is that their gender identity does not fit with the traditional binary of male or female. So now we are saying that they might be fluid. Yeah. So non-binary, you can say that probably it is fluid because they do not associate. There is a gender identity which was, so when somebody was born, there was a specific identity or there was a gender identity, but they do not confine to that. Okay. Clear? What is the difference? These are the mainly 3 terms which are referred. Does transgender necessarily imply a binary gender identity, or can it be any gender other than one assigned at birth? That is a difference, Malari, specifically. Okay. Transgender does not align with the gender they were born with. Okay. So they are binary. They are not non-binary. Non-binary is different. There are only 2 genders. Okay, we'll come to that. Okay. Gender is different and sexual orientation is different. We will come to that. Okay. Now, in today's terms, we say three things. Okay, male, female, and non-binary. Earlier, when a lot of things were not sensitized and all, then we used to say actually is male and female only. Now, in most of the forms, in most of the places, you will see at least three things, if not four. Okay, male, female, non-binary, and do not want to disclose. What all do we say? Male, female, non-binary, and do not want to disclose. I am repeating that again because it is very, very important. Even in student council also, there are many forms which we might be asking people to fill. Okay. Somebody is posting, these are genders. Was Navya, these are not genders. Okay, let's hold on. These are not genders. Okay, there is a huge difference between genders and sexual orientation. Okay. So what I would suggest is, yes, yes, Subrat. So the bare minimum thing what we can do is that in our forms and all that, let's have these four things when we are creating any forms. Okay, and instead of saying gender, let's say gender identity and put these four things. Sure. Now let's come to that are gender identity and sexual orientation same? Are they same? No. Subrat saying no, Navya saying no, Divyansh is saying whom non-binary get attracted to means emotionally or practically. Yeah. Can't we just remove the gender column? How do the gender impact the work we do? See, sometimes, right, it is required. Say, for example, in an institution, right, we might want to say, what is the ratio? Right? Many times we want to say that, okay, we are very inclusive institution. We have equal number of male and female, or we have 30% of male, we have 40% of female, and we have 20% of the staff which actually which identify themselves as LGBTQIA plus community. Plus, it also helps to provide the right kind of facilities to the people in the broader picture, in the broader scenarios. Okay, so I won't suggest that it is that we should remove, but we should not force somebody to choose male or female, because there could be other things also. How is it linked to survival of the fittest and the psychological aspect in LGBTQ? I am here to understand my friend, which she is attracted to female. We'll come to that from when we say LGBTQIA plus. I'll explain what does it mean and what they should rightly be called. Okay, and it's not survival of the fittest. Survival of the fittest is very different thing. Okay, psychological aspect, yes. Yeah, I think we have a lot to catch up. So probably I will say if there are a lot of questions, Afreen, if we can put the combine the questions and all, we'll probably address that in the end.
Yes, ma'am.
You're right. Yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
in between, we'll probably go with the flow. But yeah, if there is a quiz, if there is a question, then please answer that. Okay, if I am asking the question, so that we are still keeping it interactive. Okay, sure. So now, yeah, are gender identity and sexual orientation same? Can anybody answer? So I think some people said no, right? So I'll probably, yeah, Navya saying no, and I know some others also said no. In very simple terms, right? There is a vast difference between gender identity and sexual orientation, and that's when the answer to the question, when somebody was saying there are 5 or 6 genders, intersex, yevo, all that, these are not genders. Okay, these are sexual orientations. Okay, gender identity is very simple. It refers to my own gender. Sexual orientation pertains to a person to whom I am attracted to. Okay, that's a basic difference which is very, very clear. Gender identity it's my own gender, what I relate to. Sexual orientation is to whom I am attracted towards. whom I want to be with romantically or sexually. That is sexual orientation. Avashke is saying, aren't sexual orientation private? Yes, very much private. If somebody does not want to disclose, nobody should be forcing them to disclose. Okay? It is a private thing. Now let's understand the sexual orientations, okay, and LGBTQIA+. What does even it stands for? So it is, okay, let me ask, okay, before that I have shown it. What is the full form of LGBTQIA+? Can anybody elaborate the words? What is LGBTQIA? I think you might have seen the screen also, but can anybody elaborate? Lesbian, gay, bisexual, trans, queer. Good. Good. Are these different? I think the main confusion comes actually in people. Are these different? Yeah, earlier it was LGBT plus. Now it's called LGBTQIA plus. Still plus. Yeah, so let's come to that. Every word, right, has a different context here. Okay. Yes, queer is umbrella term. You're right. Lesbian refers to a woman who are attracted romantically or sexually to another woman. Right? And that is where we need to be really very sensitive. Okay. And I will tell you why we need to be sensitive. I'll take another example. Okay. There was so in India, the laws are still not very strict. Okay. And people do not come across very openly. And if somebody is actually hurting them, or if somebody is calling them with the if somebody is making a joke, say on gay, or if somebody is making, hey, this person is lesbian, hey, this is gay, oh, he talks like gay, oh, she talks like gay, this is probably people will feel hurt. But here the culture is still not that they will come and they will file and they will sue the company or the institution or to the person. But same is not the thing with the other countries. In some other countries, no, we should not be asking gender also. We should not be asking if they want to disclose. Filing a private form and then providing my gender is very different from somebody asking me in a discussion, right? Say, for example, I am introducing myself. Hey, I am Varsha Agrawal. And then you're asking, are you male or female? Okay, that's not how it should be. But anyway, coming back to the topic, right? Which is that, but in other countries, it's very strict. The person can sue the company, sue the institution, sue the person. And this has commonly happened. There are people who travel from some companies. The people travel to different countries from India. They did not know what not to talk, how to ask right questions, what questions to ask, what not to ask, what kind of jokes I should not be doing. So this has happened. Okay, some of us made a joke. The person, they got offended. They sued the company. The company had to pay $1 million. They lost the project. They had to fire the people anyway, and and there was a huge backlash on their overall brand and reputation. Right? So that is the thing. First of all, it is becoming very prominent in our country also. How do we respect each other? Somebody might have a different preference, but that doesn't give me a right to disrespect somebody, right? But please understand that it's very important to be sure you all are going to be in different countries. You are all going to be in corporates. You all are going to be this. It's very important to understand that I should not be disrespecting anybody. What's the right way to ask certain questions? Okay. So anyway, coming back to this. So that is lesbian. Coming to gay, describes men who are attracted romantically or sexually to other men. Sometimes we think, oh, lesbian and gay are same. Actually, if a man is attracted to another man, or if a woman is attracted to another woman, we say, okay, these are transgenders. No, that is very different. Then bisexual is who are attracted to both men and women. Transgender is the people whose gender identity differs from the sex they were assigned at birth. We spoke about that. Queer is umbrella term. Okay, somebody was saying, and that is right. These are the people who are still questioning. They are confused. They still don't know what is their own sexual orientation or gender identity. Intersex is actually born with the various, characteristic. We don't go into detail because time is very less, and that's not the objective here, right? The objective here is that how can we equip ourselves to talk in the right way and to provide a right equitable environment to the people, right? And then asexual also is who have experienced little or no sexual orientation. Hey, it's not there. Then plus is still we have plus because there could be multiple other identities, there could be multiple other expressions of this. Fine, we'll move on. Now let's say, okay, what percentage of the population is identified as LGBTQIA plus? Any guesses? Just say 1 or 2 or 3, 4, or you can put the percentage also. Quickly. A lot of people hide this, which is okay. And why a lot of people hide this? Because they know that they will be made fun of. They will not be respected. People will start seeing them differently. People will start removing them from the meetings. Right? Somebody saying 15%, okay. 3, 8%, 8, 20. Okay. The right answer is around 10%. And this percentage is the one for the people who have disclosed, because otherwise there is no way to know, right? So the actual percentage might be a lot more. Okay, but the people who have this is global. Okay, somebody is asking a question, so this is global. Okay, and these are the people who have disclosed. And as I said, the actual number might be a lot more. What's so shameful about disclosing about it? There should not be any racism. Ideally, yes, Pranab, but that's not how it is in India. At least in India, that's not how it is. People make a lot of fun. I'll give you another example, right? In my previous company, right, there was a person, he came from US. He was my, stakeholder, a very senior person, VP, and he was from LGBTQIA plus community. Okay, and he was wearing a very small nose ring, he was wearing, and people were staring at him like anything here in India. He got so uncomfortable. He was like, and he asked me, hey, why people are staring at me why people are staring at me? How embarrassed, you can understand, right? How embarrassed I felt and how embarrassed he would have felt during all the meetings and then during all his travel and being in India. Correct? That's the reason people don't disclose. It's not shameful for them. It is shameful for all of us who don't make them feel comfortable, right? Who actually just embarrass them, who keep staring, keep looking differently. That is the reason, right? What percentage of Fortune 500 companies have non-discrimination policy? Any guesses here? 90. Ronak says 90. That is right. Policy is there, but it's not followed. That's also the thing. In a lot of companies, there is a policy, but it's not followed strictly. People do not even know their rights also. Now, the last one, what percentage of execution is not done right? Correct. What percentage of LGBTQ plus individuals report experiencing discrimination? Any answer for this one? 60. Any other answer? 26. The right answer is 60%. And in some countries, it is actually in India, it is, so I am putting global. In India, it is around 75%. 75%. Global number is around 40 actually. It's not 60. The global number is 40 if you take global average. Because in a lot of countries, as I said earlier, that there are very strict laws. So that is making this percentage down. But if we talk about India, it's 75% or could be more. How it could be more? Because many people don't even many people don't even report it also. Because they say, if I will report it, then I will be discriminated again. So many people don't even report it. So the actual percentage might be a lot more. 75% is actually what is reported. Okay. Now let's talk about some myth and truth. I won't go into everything in the interest of time, but one important thing is, right, that somebody was asking, I am asking for my friend, she is also, if somebody comes to you and you are their good friend, correct, they talk about their sexual orientation with you, should you just go ahead and talk to others about it? Because you think that anyway, they told me, so I can go ahead and talk about that. No, that is very wrong. It should not be done at all. Okay. In the interest of time, I'm not going into each and everything, but there is one of the very important thing is actually if a person from this community has changed their name, because at times when they do gender affirmation surgery, they change the name, and we should be always calling them with their new name and not with the dead name. And a bunch of other things, we should always use the pronouns and so on and so forth. What is the business case for LGBTQIA+? I'll rush through it because there are almost 10% we saw, which is 8 crore. The overall LGBTQIA+ spending power is around 8 trillion. Only with LGBTQ, including their family and friends and all, only with LGBTQ+ is 3.9 or 4 something. So just understand that if there is a place, if there is an institution, a college, a corporate, a company, a hospital, where it is inclusive, people are respected, there are inclusive policies, people are sensitized, where I will prefer to go and spend the money, where I will take my family out for a dinner, a place which is inclusive, right? So some place, some school, some college, some restaurant, some corporate which is not inclusive, they are losing the business, right? So that's the thing. Okay, let's quickly see this. What is most appropriate here? Yeah, let's not do the first one. We'll just do the second one. What gender neutral term is preferred? Should we say partner, significant other, spouse, better half, best half? What should we say here? I think a lot of chat is going on. Partner. Okay, anybody else? Spouse. Okay, anybody else? 8. What is 8? 3. Better half. Better half, best half, my love. Sure, yeah. Yeah, so I think you can always say, but what we should not say, husband and wife. Okay, suppose if we are seeing, visibly, if you are seeing a man and you can say, hey, what's the name of your wife? Hey, how is your wife? He might as well as can have a husband also. So we should not say husband and wife, but partner is best. But apart from that, you can always say significant other, spouse, better half, best half, but not husband and wife. Okay. Okay, so what are the best practices from inclusive language perspective? First of all, it should be gender neutral. When we are anyway saying, we spoke about, we should be saying partner and all. Apart from that, we should always, instead of saying husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, we should say a partner. Okay. Then we should have a positive language. Then we should say, hey, this person suffers from gayness. Some people I have heard saying that they say this person suffers from gayness, as if it's a disease. It's not a disease here. just their preference. Okay. So, and the other important thing actually is in at least in LGBTQIA plus community perspective is that the pronouns. Pronouns is something which is very important from this perspective. Okay, we should, when we are introducing ourselves to somebody, we should always say that, hey, say I am Varsha. My pronouns are she, her. Okay, when somebody is saying is that my pronouns are they, them, because I don't want to I don't confine myself to she or her or hers, or I don't confine myself to he, his and him, because he, his and him is for man, she, her and hers is for female. I don't want to confine them, so I want to say they, them. And going forward, whenever you refer to them, you should always use their preferred pronouns. Their preferred pronouns. Okay. Somebody is asking, I don't know what dating. We are not into this. Okay, how should they reproduce and all? We are not into that discussion. Let's keep it to the institution. We are not trying to understand what they do, right? We are trying to understand what they are and how we can be respectful for them. Okay. Sure. So please always use the right pronouns. Okay. And then few other things which we can do. Make sure that when you are opening a job description, when you are putting when you are putting the inquiries for students to apply and all that, keep it very gender neutral. Don't say that he should be able to do this, he should have this percentage of marks, she should have this percentage of marks. Okay, keep it very gender neutral. Okay, how can we support as students? What all can we do? Right, multiple things we can do. Anybody can have any guesses what we should do? I think there's some different discussion which is going on here, from adoption, and I've seen lesbian and gay marriages, and dating a girl, how can we reproduce? Yeah, looks like a different discussion which is going on here, but anyway. Okay. See, again, I'm saying, what is our objective here? Our objective is to understand the community so that we can be respectful. We are better to make sure that we are not embarrassing them, we are not embarrassing ourselves. That's the topic of this discussion. We are not going into how they are reproducing, what are they doing, and blah blah. Fine. Okay, so what can we do as students? We can be an ally and we can show support. Ally means that, okay, this is a bare minimum thing, I stand behind you. If I am seeing that somebody is embarrassing somebody, if somebody is actually making a disrespectful comment, I can confront that person and say, this is not the right way to talk. Okay, we spoke about the pronouns, right? So should be doing that. Have your pronouns on LinkedIn, and always be proactive in terms of when you are in a meeting. Don't let any person down and not allowed to speak just because they are from the community. Everybody should get a chance to speak. Everybody should get a chance to celebrate in your cultural and religious, social holidays, and bunch of other things. If there is a person from the community, it could be person with disability. Can you support? Right? Can you provide them your notes? Can you do all those things? So those are the things which can be done as students. These are some examples of email signatures. Just, I mean, very simple. You must be writing a lot of emails and all. How can you show support? You can just say, I am a proud ally. I am celebrating Pride months. My pronouns are they, them, or she, her, whatever. This is a bare minimum thing which everybody can do to show the support. What can we do as institution? We can have sensitization sessions, which is something which we are doing right now. Correct. We can have clear goals, at least some goals to start with. So as I said earlier, right, it's not that we have to boil the ocean and do 100 things. Start small. We can offer certain benefits. We can have inclusive policy, anti-discrimination policies, at least we can have, right? We can make sure that there is a diverse panel when you are actually doing interviews. I know for BS students also, you are actually doing interviews. Is there a diverse panel which is doing interview before you give them an admission? That's a bare minimum thing, right? And some of other things which we can do. The other thing is, can we help each other? The other thing is supplier and vendor diversity. You must be having a lot of suppliers in order to make sure that your institution is running, right? You would have stationery suppliers, grocery, food, vendors. You can, bare minimum what we can do is my supplier and vendor diverse? Do I have anybody, do I have a woman entrepreneur? Do I have a person from LGBTQIA plus community to whom I am giving business? So this is bare minimum thing which can be done, right? Okay. Now communities, because I think Suraj was specifically asking me that please share how can we form communities and what are the some communities which are existing. So these are some communities which are already existing. In Tata Institute of Social Sciences, there is a community. There is a Delhi University is having a community. They are working together. There are 40 colleges, okay, within Delhi University, which are making use of this community. They are helping each other. They are talking with each other. They are referring each other for jobs. They are they are helping each other as students, sharing knowledge, sharing the sensitization, sharing the experiences. Okay. IIT Delhi also has, IIT Bombay also has, and then a lot of corporates also has different communities. You will go join some corporate and all that. A lot of corporates have different communities as of now to support LGBTQIA plus or PWD or bunch of other things. Okay. Very quickly, how can we form a community if you want to do? There's a very simple process. We should identify the need. First of all, we should identify the need. Is there a need? Yes, there is a need for sure now, at least now in every institution. We should actually we should gather support from like-minded people. Okay, like all of you are attending this session. It makes sure that yes, you are actually supportive of it. Then define the mission and the vision. What do you want to do? Okay, we want everybody to be sensitized. We want to support this community by being an ally. A lot of other things. Then define some goals. Secure leadership support is very, 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 very important. Okay. There has to be a commitment from the leadership. Then we can form a committee and define the roles. Okay, like somebody is a president, somebody is vice president, and somebody is working on the floor to get more allies, to get more support, and so on and so forth. There can be a lot of things which we can do. Launch the community, make sure that everybody is aware. Create some posters, virtual posters, create some QR code, ask people to scan, and then see that, oh, okay, there is a community which exists, right? How can they support? Share success stories, share examples. These are a lot of things which can, nowadays, just put a QR code, people will scan it out of curiosity, which can talk about, hey, we have a community, right? And this is all what we are doing. Please participate, please be an ally. Being regular is very important. Monitor and evaluate the progress and slowly have advocacy policy, and sustaining the community is very important. It should not be that I form a community today and then for a month I'm very, very enthusiastic. After that, I'm like, oh, this is too much. I can't do. That's the reason I'm saying that we should not be boiling the ocean on day one. Let's do it very slowly. But sustainability means keep it going. Not that in 1 month I will do 10 events, I'll do 100 sensitizations, I will do a lot of job opportunity, and then after that, I'm tired. I can't do. That should not be the case. Okay. So these are some guidelines which I mentioned. And these are the objective. What should be the objective of the community? Awareness. What are the various main resources? Creating the safe spaces for the people from the community. making sure that we are helping the HR, dean, and all that in order to have right policies, inclusive policies, having engagement, networking events, mentorship programs, very collaborative projects, guiding each other, helping each other, and the representation. Sure. I think we are pretty much. Now let's see what questions we have. Do we think I can stop sharing and let's see what questions we have. We'll address those first very quickly.
Shall I share the sheet?
No, ask the questions one by one. Take it by yourself.
So the first question is, what's the sexual orientation of non-binary?
What's the sexual orientation of non-binary? I think we discussed, right, that they do not have, they have not identified themselves as a gender as of now, right? They are non-binary, neither male nor female, right? Neither it's nor that they want to. It's not that they do not want to even disclose. Correct. So the non-binary is the one which actually do not know whether I fall, whether I belong here or whether I do not belong here. That is one. Second thing is that the sexual orientation is very subjective. We saw that there are many examples, right? I cannot talk on behalf of the entire non-binary community that, oh, this is my sexual orientation. One non-binary person can have a sexual orientation as gay, another one can have lesbian, another one might not have a sexual orientation identified at all. So I am not the person to say that as non-binary, I can talk about the entire community and say that all non-binary 5 crore people have this sexual orientation. Nobody can say that. Right? As somebody said, right, it's very private.
Yes, ma'am.
They themselves might not know sometimes. So who am I to say that non-binary community should have this sexual orientation? Okay.
So, ma'am, the next question that we have is, isn't enforcing gender diversity in workplace directly declining the best talent you can get?
Can you repeat the question?
Isn't enforcing gender diversity in workplace directly declining the best talent you can get?
No, because one of the things which we say very openly and very clearly is that always hire on merit. We should never hire somebody who just because they are a woman or they are from LGBTQIA plus community or they are from PWD or whatever. It should never happen. Okay. What should be done is that what kind of opportunities which we are providing to them. For example, like the way we do, right? Say, for example, doctors, right? We say that, okay, I will have only female doctors in this hospital. No. Can you work early? Can you work in MBBS colleges first to make sure that we are providing right kind of opportunity, right environment, right process, policies, support, in order to make sure that we are creating and we are having many gender diverse doctors who can then hire into hospital. That is the objective when we say gender diversity. It's not after work that, okay, there is a female, I will hire. No, that will impact the business, which is never an objective. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. So the third question is a little sensitive. It is a long question actually. So it took me a lot of time to accept me as I am. I think I'm still figuring out, and the reason why I'm still in that loop is because we are from an Indian family where our first love is our parents. No one comes above our parents. The fact that after coming out, I will not be accepted by the other people and the society, I would only be affected by what my parents think. In order to analyze what my parents think about lesbians and LGBTQ in general, I have tried to question them as well indirectly many times, and unfortunately I didn't get any good response. So in summary, my question is, number one question that the person has is how to come out to your parents, like how to reveal this to your parents, probably what they mean. Second question is how to sustain a good life with your partner and enjoy equal rights and opportunities as straight couples do. The third question to this is when and how will the government of India allow the same sex marriage, and how can I contribute in that decision? The fourth question is the most.
Okay, I think we need to take one by one, otherwise I'll forget
Okay,
it
ma'am. So the
completely.
first question is
Okay.
how to come out to our parents.
Yeah. See, uh, what you said is very right. Our parents are our first love, right? We cannot hurt them ever. But it is not to blame them also, right? Because that's how our society was. Now also, if you see, even now people feel very uncomfortable in talking about the community, right? Forget about 30 years before or 40 years, our parents might be at age of at least 50 by now, right? So forget about that. But there are many incidents which has happened where the person has come out and slowly and steadily parents have accepted. So the one thing which I would say is that find out in practicality. Okay, they can, I'm not saying do emotional drama and all those things, but in all practicality, actually, what we should do is identify the communities where you already have the parents of this community, and there are many communities like that which are existing now. Online communities, on Facebook there are communities, on in person there are communities. So, and there the people are there from their age group itself. Have your parents participate first in that community. When they will hear, right, that there are other people from the same age group, they have accepted their child. Okay, the child is doing really good. The child is happy because eventually the parents also want that the first preference is that my child should be happy. Why they fear so much is that they think that, yeah, they will be embarrassed, they will not be happy, hence I should not allow it. But if they see, no, that there are couples which are happy, which are accepted in the society, their parents are also happy, then they will slowly start accepting it. Okay, what was the second question? I think we are
Okay, ma'am.
8:45.
So second question is how to sustain a good life with your partner and enjoy equal rights and opportunities as straight couples do.
So equal right and opportunities is again the same thing, right? Where now you see a lot of corporates, a lot of companies are hiring specifically LGBTQI, the people from LGBTQIA plus communities or from other underrepresented groups also. So there are a plethora of opportunities which are open right now. Okay, there are many there are many organizations which are working with the particular community in order to identify a lot of opportunities for the community. Work with them so that you have a stable job, you have a job in a place which appreciates you, which are inclusive employers, so that every day you feel happy to go to the place. Law, I cannot talk about it, though there is though after the wait, after many years, the government of India has identified, they have one law right now. But and slowly, see, it will, the change is not a one day thing, right? So slowly it will come. Okay, but as of now also in India as well, the same sex couple also are living together and they are happy. It's just that first of all we need to be happy within ourselves. Am I happy in my home or not? Right, that is the first focus which I should have. Then I will see whether, why do we, I am not saying that it does not impact, it does impact, right? But can we first be happy within ourselves and start ignoring some of the comments and blah blah and all till our society becomes ideal? I know a couple, right? They are both they are gay. They are living happily. They were not happy in an apartment. Okay, so they rented a very small independent place. Fine. But at least they are happy together, right? They are working, they are enjoying, they are happy together. That's most important. I understand it's not a very ideal situation, but unfortunately, that's how society is right now. There is a lot of change which has happened over the years, but it will still take few more years to come to an ideal situation. Yeah. Any other question?
Yes, ma'am. The third question related to this is when and how will the government of India allow the same-sex marriage, and how can I contribute in that decision?
I can't answer that question because I am not from government. Neither I am doing law. But what I know is that I am also part of certain groups and certain communities. We are all fighting for it. Okay, and how you can contribute? Become a part of a community. Be an ally. Participate in pride marches. Right? Participate in the events. Participate in various communities. Just in June we had a Pride Month. We had a lot of discussion on the road with the government. That is going to influence. So participate actively. That is what is your contribution. But I can't say that government will make a law in 5 years. Yeah. Any
Last question related to this is the most important in this whole process of understanding myself. I have lost many friends in my life because either I was attracted to her and she didn't feel the same, or I told my identity to her and she started maintaining distance. So now I am very conscious while opening up, and now I have actually lost all the interest in making friends. So how can I come back to my original self, who used to do everything for their friends and was the most happy with them?
See, first of all, friends, okay? Friend, what is the definition of a friend? I understand that at times when we are attracted towards somebody and they are not, it becomes a slightly difficult situation and scenario. But as far as you have not forced your liking towards somebody, still if they have maintained and after they said no, you have started keeping that boundary only as a friend. Even after that, if they say that no, I don't want to maintain a relationship, means they're not your friend. A friend is somebody who is always there in your thick and thin. That's a true friend. So if somebody is making a distance or have created a distance, maintaining a distance because you have opened up, means they're not your friend. They're not the right people as a friend for you at all. But there are many people, even I have some friends, which are from the community. So identify the people who are really respecting you as what you are. First, they are accepting you as what you are. But that doesn't mean that we will stop making friends. I would say participate in the communities. You will get many friends there. Many friends there who will understand you, who will respect you, who will accept you as what you are. And then you will not actually say that I am not making friends, because the kind of support, the kind of stories which you will hear, right, that will make you feel that you're doing great compared to what their stories are, compared to how they have evolved from their journey since the childhood. Yeah.
Next question is, how should I know if I'm from LGBTQ community or not?
I can't answer that. That's very own preference. Yeah. I am not a doctor to understand what is somebody's sexual orientation. That is very private to you, that you need to identify. It's more of a psychological and a doctor question. Right? Yeah.
And next question is, as there's provisions in BNS through which one can be sued for being called gay.
I
Are
didn't get
there?
the question.
Sorry, this is a question. Are there provisions in BNS through which one can be sued for being called gay?
I don't think so, but yeah, BNS can answer, but I don't think so. That's illegal. Actually, if somebody is doing that, you can sue back. Okay, nobody can sue you because of your sexual orientation. And I don't think so that there is anything in any institute which can happen like that. That is discrimination. And most organization, actually 100% of the organization have anti-discrimination policy. They cannot discriminate anybody because of their gender, because of their sexual orientation, because of their disability, because of their gender, or whatever it is. Cannot happen. Yeah.
I don't understand this gender identity. How do you define any particular gender then? Do people identify a particular gender because society has made this social construct that these particular genders have these kind of behavior features?
See, again, yeah, gender and sexual orientation is a very personal thing, right? I cannot define a gender for anybody. Neither the society can define a gender for anybody. Okay. You need to identify what your gender is. You need to identify what your sexual orientation is. Nobody else can define it because I can't understand what you're feeling, right? I can only understand what you're saying. But you need to understand your feeling, right? And you need to, then after that, you need to identify what's your gender identity, what's your sexual orientation, and then seek help accordingly. Okay.
What role do employee resource groups, ERGs, play in advancing DEIB?
So employee resource groups are again the communities. So employee resource group are majorly the communities which are for the community, by the community, and from the community. Okay, so in companies we form ERG. Suppose there is a ERG for gender. There is a ERG for people with disability. There will be a ERG for LGBTQIA plus. There will be a ERG for veterans. What is the idea behind it? Is where the community can sit, talk, share their challenges, their positives, their success stories, how they have navigated in their career, how they have come across. So these are such communities where people are meeting informally, completely informal, share with each other and learn from each other. And that eventually promotes a DIB, because then from ERG community, obviously there will be some precedent and all. They can take all the challenges to the seniors or to the HR or to the leadership and can say that, okay, here are the challenges which all of us are facing. We need a policy to address this. Okay.
So the second last question that we have is, what are some simple everyday actions individuals can take to promote DEIB in their workplaces?
Yeah. So the one of the thing, very simple thing which I said is that be an ally. That's a bare minimum simple thing which we can do. Okay. Which is show your support. If there is an event happening, attend that. If there is a if there is a if there is a disrespectful situation happening, and if the person is not able to confront, show support. That hey, I am seeing this situation. This is not the right situation. This is not the right way to behave with other person. Right? You have email signatures. Show support in your email signatures. Right? And help each other. From, say, for example, if there is a person with disability, right, and they are not able to attend the class, they could be person with speech and hearing impairment. Can you share your notes with them? That is promoting, right? Other than that, there are a bunch of things which we can do to incorporate, talk, help HR, help the leaders in creating the right policies. Right? Say that, okay, I have a person, I have a friend, I have a family member. I want to get them to office. I want to get them to the institution, but you don't have a ramp. Can you make the workplace accessible? And also share how can they make it happen? A lot of other things actually, but there are a few bare minimum things which actually can be done. The most, and it just show support. Be there. Be there for the community. Yeah.
Yes. So the last question is, how do you envision the role of AI and emerging technologies in advancing DEIB efforts in the next decade?
So a lot of things actually AI can do. But let me give an example. There are certain problems also with that. Okay. For now, because of our generational issues and all that, right? What happens is, as soon as we see a resume, okay, I'll just take this example, and I see a female, and I see Mrs. ABC, right? And then we say, how many years of experience? 5 years of experience. We guess the age. She is married, and then she's having 5 years of experience. Means she might be in 30 years of age or something. Means she might be planning for a child. Let me not shortlist her. Right? Can happen. Because if we shortlist her, if we hire her, she might go on maternity leave. Correct. What AI can do? Blank screening or blind screening. It can remove the name. It can remove the nobody puts the age, but it can remove the name. It can remove the gender identity. It can remove a bunch of other things and only shortlist the resumes based on the skills which are matching the job role. Right? And there are multiple other automations which are happening. Many people actually say that hiring from the community, from LGBTQIA plus PWD takes a long time, because that the person, because they are not available on LinkedIn, they are not and they are not available actually on any other job sites and all. How can I do? Automation can help here, right? How automation can help? They are available on some government sites. They are available on some NGO site and all. It can crawl your automation, and your the application can crawl, right? Get you the resumes, do the automated matching, right? And then can present you the resume. How automated matching can help is, let's take example of a person with disability, right? For example, if I am hiring a sales executive, I know that I cannot hire a person with speech and hearing impairment for the sales executive, because the day-to-day job itself is to talk. But there are many success examples which are available, that the people with vision impairment are very successful as a sales executive. Then for this particular job role, I'll crawl various sites and I'll present the people with the vision impairment for this particular job role, which are ready to be hired. So some of these things which actually can help. I just gave example of how can we shortlist people, but in LIs, in having the right policies also, AI and automation can help. If you will start talking about it, that's another half an hour of everything what can be done. Oh yeah, toothbrush. Yeah, now Ronak. Any other question, or we'll get to the toothbrush thing?
Ma'am, I have one comprehensive question, if you allow me.
Yeah, sure.
Ma'am, it's like, can you share some examples of how cultural and social shift have influenced organizational DEIB strategies and their outcome? Have you come across any surprising or unexpected benefit of DIB initiatives that you think organizations often overlook? And what is the role of leaders play in fostering an inclusive workplace? Like all three are
Yeah, I
connected.
forgot the first. Can you paste it on chat?
Yeah, sure,
I
sure.
think there were 3 questions, right? So
Yes.
yeah. Okay, while he's pasting, the toothbrush, yeah, near to my bed. Okay. So the toothbrush thing is from the creative thinking, which actually comes is that this question was asked to many other people. They said, I will have sensors, I will have this, that, blah, blah, 100 other things. I'll do automation and blah, blah. This person with the vision impairment said is that I will just put a rubber band on my toothbrush. I will feel it and I know that it's my toothbrush. That's the creative thinking. And that's where the AI cannot replace humans. Or simplicity beats complexity. That's what the community brings. Creative thinking to many complex looking problems and solutions. Okay. Can you share examples of how cultural and societal shifts have influenced organizations, DEIB strategies, and their outcome? So all of us, so everything what we spoke about, right? This is all cultural. So one is culture. First of all, culture cannot be built in a day, right? The first thing is what kind of environment I am providing in my organization. Okay, do I have, and that's what I said earlier, the leadership commitment is very, very important. Am I saying, so if you see an organization which has only certain policies versus I see an organization where starting from leader to the intern to the security guard is sensitized, and that's the cultural shift because that's the inclusive place and that has done wonders, right? Where societal shifts are still happening, I would say. Okay, whereas if you see but the cultural shifts are happening in various institutions, in various companies, and if the entire place is inclusive, if the cultural shift has happened where everybody feels inclusive, everybody feels authentic, then the productivity, creativity, and the overall company brand and reputation just goes to the next level. No, why? Because when I am coming to the workplace, I am only thinking about the work. I am not thinking about, oh, I will be disrespected today by somebody. Oh, this is not something which I should say. I should not talk this. I should not talk that. I can just focus on the work. And that is what which if there is a cultural transformation which has happened, that is what something which has brought magnificent changes to the organizations. Have you come across any surprising or unexpected benefit or DIB initiatives that you identify? Brand and reputation. You know, the generally people think that I should do diversity, equity, and inclusion just because it is a nice thing to do. Okay. But apart from having a nice thing to do, right, it just uh, it just gets the brand and the reputation of the company to the nth level. You know, these communities actually, people with disability or LGBTQIA plus, these are very close communities. They have many WhatsApp groups, they have many groups, they are people who are very close. The word of mouth spreads like anything. Okay. The one example which I can give is there was there was a small company, actually, a startup or a mid-sized company, right? But they were inclusive because from the beginning itself they said my design mindset is itself being inclusive, right? And during COVID they were at the verge of closing because they were not getting good business because of multiple reasons and all what we thought, right? There was a person who worked in this particular organization long back, and the person was a person with disability. Right now, he has grown in the career and blah blah and all that, and he was a decision maker in a large company now. This person actually has and this company was pitching to this MNC to be onboarded as a vendor. This person was the decision maker, one of the decision maker. He influenced that entire decision and got that company onboarded. And that company saved the entire business itself. They got a click, they expanded their business from that. Generally, people don't think that, oh, okay, if I am helping this person from what can they do for me? They are so helpless, they can't do anything for me. But sometimes it does wonders. Okay. What role do you think leaders play in fostering? Leaders, as I kept saying, right, that leaders, if your leaders are not committed, the changes cannot happen. Any smaller thing also to change, specifically in DIB, the leadership commitment has to happen. Many times when I do sensitizations, right, people ask actually, has my manager gone through the sensitization? Have they attended? Because then people think, right, it's not important for the company. Because my leader has sent me, just send me this, just send me to the workshop just to tick the box. but it's not important for the company, it's not important for them. So why should I pay attention? So they just sit in the they sit in the forum, and then they just keep checking on the phone or blah blah, they don't pay attention at all. So unless, and leaders only, see, we were talking about ERGs. ERGs can recommend a bunch of policies. ERGs can say that we should do this, we should do this, we should do this, but eventually it is leadership who has to stamp on it, right? Otherwise, we can't bring change at all. So specifically in this, it should not be top down, but the top support is very much required. Okay. Yeah, it's 9:08. Any other question?
Actually, Navya wants herself to unmute and talk to you.
I have
You allow, like it's like already been, we have
yeah.
38 minutes. So
Yeah.
if you allow, then we can wrap up the session.
Okay, let's do that. And I think Afreen was asking if I can summarize. So let me do this. Okay. While we are hearing Navya's question, I will give you one thing. I know many people have dropped off, but thank you for some of you who are staying. I'll just, can you all open menti.com on your phone and type this code? What we are trying to do is we are trying to create a word cloud of the session, what you understood, what DI means to you, what do you think, just as simple as that. And Afreen can use that word cloud to probably show, but I'll summarize as well.
Okay.
It's 9:10 right now, so yeah, we probably need to do quick. But yeah, Navya, go ahead with your question. Yeah. So if you just open menti.com and you type this code, you can enter a word, what DI means to you. Okay, as simple as that. My Zoom is again crashing, so I'm not sure. I probably would have to rejoin, but yeah, let's hear your question, Navya.
Audible.
Yeah.
Yes, Navya. Feeble, but your voice is very feeble.
Oh, okay. I'll try to be
Now
louder.
it's better.
Okay. So, Sharon, I had a question. I always thought I was much educated about this topic, but I think I'm not after attending today's lecture. I wanted to ask, is LGBTQ community an orientation or a gender, or is it just something against or opposite to the heterosexuals?
It's not opposite to heterosexuals, right? We just saw that this community has very different things. L is different, G is different, B is different, and all that. So it's not a representation of one against each other. It's a representation of what my identity is and what my sexual orientation. That's it. We should not be complicating it actually.
Their identity?
Sorry?
Can we call it gender identity?
Two things actually. What is my gender identity? And what's my sexual orientation? Very simple. That's it. These two things only.
Then is intersex a gender or orientation?
Intersex is these are the people. Okay? These are the people. For example, what is lesbian? This is a community of the people who are attracted towards same gender identity. Yes. So LGBTQIA plus is not a gender identity. It's not sexual orientation. It's a community. Now inside that community, we have lesbian. Lesbian is one sexual. Lesbian are the people who are attracted towards who have a particular sexual orientation.
Okay, then transgenders are also people that way who have a particular orientation, but that orientation can be completely different in the LGBTQ community as well, right?
So, yeah, first of all, we say is that everybody is a person first.
Yes.
So, transgender comes secondary. Like we always say, people with disability, people first, then comes the
Yes.
other thing. Same thing. People with this sexual orientation. We
But
should
being
not say they are, sorry.
but being transgender isn't really an orientation.
That is what I'm saying, right? They are people with certain sexual orientation.
So we can't call
Please,
them like
please
transgender.
understand. Sorry, please understand that they are people first. Let's
Yes.
not call them transgender. Transgender is one of the aspect of their personality, overall personality. But they have a bunch of other things, right? They can smell, they can see, they can speak, they can talk. Like me, like anybody else. I am, say, for example, if I am attracted to a particular person, is that the only thing of my overall personality? No,
That
right?
I
I have a
understand.
lot of other things.
Yes, that I understand. I was just a little confused here because I myself identify myself as bisexual. However, I'm learning today about these different topics and certain areas which I was not, which I didn't understand before. Because what I heard was that being intersex or transgender comes under the category of being of gender. That's what I was taught earlier. So that's what I asked, that it does it come under the term gender, or is it just under the community of LGBTQ plus?
So we don't call it as gender. At least I can talk about the institutions and corporates. Okay.
Okay.
It is a it is a community of the people with certain sexual orientation. It's a community. That's why we always say LGBTQIA plus community.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
I think I get some of it.
Sure. Okay.
Thank
Are people able to do Mentimeter? Menti.com is, you just have to open the site actually on your
Yes.
phone and then just put this code and then start typing. What do you think about DI? What is DIB? And
Ma'am,
yeah,
your
what
code is not visible. Can you just put it over the chat? Your screen is
sorry, code is
your
not
code.
visible. Okay, it's the 3943777. Let me put it on chat. Open menti.com and then just put 3943777. Menti.com. So any other question, or can I summarize? Because I think that's what Afreen was looking for. Any other question? Okay, so let's
I guess
summarize.
you can summarize, ma'am. Yes.
Sure. So let's see. First of all, what we learned is we understood what is DEIB. Right, Afreen, if you're taking a note, or I don't know what, I mean, should I speak slowly or should I just go in the flow?
No, you just go
You,
on
ma'am,
your
go
own
in the
pace, ma'am.
flow.
Okay. So what we learned is what is DEIB. Then we learned what is equality versus equity. Then we learned why the overall DI ecosystem is important. Then we learned about what are the various personas in the DI ecosystem and why every persona is important. Then we learned about, then we come to the LGBTQIA plus focused, pride focused, where we learned about the different gender identity terms. We learned, is gender identity and sexual orientation same or not? Then we learned the LGBTQIA plus and the sexual orientation, the community and the sexual orientation. Then we obviously, and over the go, we had many quizzes. So we also understood what's the spending power of the LGBTQIA plus community, what is the percentage of the community, how many companies have this law, what percentage of the company have law, and so on. Then we also learned about some myths and truths, and what is a business case for LGBTQIA plus, and we also learned about inclusive language best practices. Then we learned about how can we support as a student, how can we support as institution, how can we form a community, and what should be the guidelines for the community, right? We also learned, we also had some very great questions, okay, some, and good, actually it was very good interactive, I mean, session. I loved the questions, I loved everything what everybody was asking. So that is what which makes it happen. Okay, empathy, inclusivity, namaste. Okay, good. Inclusion, diversity, equity, GWT in action. Hello, LGBTQIA, equitable opportunity. Any other thing? Yeah. What does DIB mean to you? Okay, so maybe we can close. You can probably take a screenshot here. Yeah. Yeah. Some more getting added.
I think Afreen, any closing comment?
Yeah.
So we have come to the end of the session. I want to thank Varsha ma'am for sharing this wealth of knowledge that you had. Actually, this has changed our, I believe, everybody's perspective here a lot today. Some were maybe in doubt, like we had many questions related to that where people were in doubt, and they have clarified those doubts here. So ma'am, the session was really eye opening, and the visual engagement presentation that you made has been like, these were, I believe, the more impactful things of this session, and which will uh, let people not forget about the things that we have learned today. So I hope this session has inspired you to think and maybe rethink more deeply about this topic. Big thanks to everybody who has joined, and especially for those who participated throughout. It was really very valuable. And lastly, a special thanks again to Varsha ma'am for her time and expertise. I know, ma'am, you're very busy, but still you made this time and extended the time. So thank you everybody for attending. Lastly, I would want to say, stay curious, stay inclusive, and let's make a difference together. So have a great evening. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll just ping my LinkedIn profile because I know some people are asking how can they be connected. So I am just pinging here LinkedIn profile. You can reach out to me. The one just last thing which I want to say. I know there were many questions on what can I identify myself as. What you see, that's not the objective of this particular session, because uh, that is very personal. I don't want to say, as because there were some questions on what percentage, what's the gender of non-binary and all. That's not the objective of this, because that's very personal. It's between you and what your feelings are. And other thing, the objective of our this session was, and we pretty much wanted to keep it to that. That's why we didn't go into details of other things, because I am not a doctor, I am not a psychologist, and I am not the person who would want to comment on certain things and all, right? But the objective of this one was, how can we understand DEIB first? How can we understand the community, the best practices, the inclusive language, so that we can be respectful towards others, we can be respectful towards our company, we can make sure that we are confronting if there is something wrong, we are not making somebody uncomfortable, we are not embarrassing ourselves or even to others. That was the objective. Sure. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks a lot, everybody. I really enjoy. Afreen, I would really suggest if you can post all the questions what you have got, which was there on the chat, or which you have got, so
Yes,
that
ma'am.
if I have not answered any question, I am more than happy to answer it offline.
Okay, ma'am.
Right.
Okay, ma'am.
Sure,
So
ma'am.
please send all the possible questions which were there to me over email. You have my email.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
send all that. I'll be happy if something is not answered, because I know a lot of people were asking on chat as well. So I can answer it offline. So send me all the questions.
Yes,
Okay?
ma'am. We'll do
Sure,
so.
ma'am.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you,
Thank
ma'am.
you, ma'am.
Great
Bye, ma'am.
having such an interactive audience and
Thank
such
you,
an
ma'am.
open audience, and being so interactive. It makes me also do the session with a lot of fun. Thank you. Thank you, Afreen. Thank you, Abhijit. Great
Thank you,
having
ma'am.
you.
Thank you, ma'am. It was a pleasure, ma'am.
Bye. Thank you.
Myself, we can stop the recording.